Alright guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to go over the different types of cornhole shots. And if you're new to cornhole, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, you can either put it on the board or in the hole. That's it. Well, in essence that is true. That's where the bags finish. But when you get to a skill level, you can use 14 different types of shots. And they range from beginner to intermediate to expert level shots. And I'm going to go over all of them and what they look like. In this video, I'm not going to cover how to do each one, but I can do a tutorial video. And so if you want to see one or learn how to do a certain shot, just comment below and let me know, and I'll make a video in the future. Whew, it is early. So the basic level shots, there's 3 of them. Bear with me, I've got my computer right here, so I'm looking these up to make sure I get them right. But we've got a slide shot, a block shot, and a replacement shot. So normally in cornhole, a slide shot is when the bag slides up the board and goes in the hole. Usually a player spins the bag like a frisbee. If you've ever watched it on ESPN or on TV or on live stream, a lot of the players spin the bag. And the reason they do that is so that it has less friction and slides straight up the hole. That is the basic shot, your bread and butter, and what you do all the time in order to get better. A block shot is very similar to a slide, but instead of going in the hole, it stops right before the hole. And some people think that's a miss, but in reality it's actually a really good shot because now you're blocking the hole. So when your opponent tries to throw it in, it's a much more difficult for them because now there's a block in the way. So that's more of a defensive kind of throw, and it brings a little strategy into the game. The last basic shot is a replacement. A replacement is when your opponent has a blocker in front of the hole and you throw a little bit harder shot at the blocker. It pushes their bag in the hole, and then yours sits right in front as a blocker. It replaces their block. And so it's actually a good shot, and in fact it's one of the best shots you can do because you're staying in front of the hole, knocking them in, and then you're going to clean up your bag later. So, you know, some people might think it's bad because you're knocking, you know, your opponent's bag in. Well, the truth is, you know, they're going to be good enough to get their bag in anyway. So if they're close enough to the hole, it's okay to knock them in and replace it, and now they have to go through your block. All right, the intermediate shots. These are the airmail drag, the push shot, the bully bag, and the block behind. I'll start with the block behind because we just covered the blocks. The reason why this one is intermediate is because a block shot, you have to get the right distance and the right, let's say, accuracy, left to right on the board. So a block behind shot is when your opponent has a blocker in front of the hole and you throw your next bag behind their block. You're blocking behind their block. When executed correctly, it's great because now they can no longer get their bag in without doing some other type of harder shot or expert level shot or something like that. It's a little more difficult to perform than a regular block, so that's why I include it in the intermediate shots. But it's can be really effective if you do it right. The next shot is a push shot. So a push shot is when you push one of your bags or your opponent's bags into the hole, and the one you throw also goes in the hole. This is usually a little bit harder to throw, lower trajectory, and has a little bit more speed to it. A bully bag is when your opponent has a bag near the hole. It could be a little off-centered, and you know you're concerned that they're going to be able to collect it on a push shot later. Well, in a bully, you throw your bag at theirs, and it pushes theirs or bullies it out of the way, and yours goes in the hole. Essentially what you're doing is you're moving their bag out so that they can no longer collect it. And it's a difficult shot to do, but it can be really effective in scoring points. Because you got to think, you know, this game is the first to 21. It's not who can put the most bags in the hole, it's who can manufacture points. All right, the last 2 intermediate shots are the airmail and the airmail drag. The airmail is when you throw the bag directly in the hole. This is the shot you've probably seen on ESPN where you get fist bumps and celebrations and all, you know, these huge shots because people are throwing it over bags and directly in the hole. And it usually gets the most excitement. The reason why I include it in intermediate and not hard or expert is because in reality, you're just hitting a spot on the board. It doesn't matter how your bag is tilted or angled. So you're just hitting a single spot. Some of these harder and expert level shots require the bag to be tilted a certain way or have a certain speed. And so that takes more precision, in my opinion. All right, there's 4 hard level shots. Those are the and one, the roll bag, the cut shot, and the reverse cut. So now we're getting to the point where it takes manipulation of the bag to get a certain result that you want to happen. You know, you either have to tilt it left, right, backwards, forwards, and these are much more difficult to execute. They're a lower percentage, but they usually provide a greater reward if you hit them correctly. First one is the and one. This is really similar to an airmail. It's when you throw it directly in the hole, but your opponent has a bag on the back side of the hole. What you do is you hit their bag and it shoots off the board while yours still falls in the hole, right? There's been some, you know, famous shots, if you will, on YouTube and other socials where, you know, players have hit this in the pro division, and it's difficult to do, but it's really just a longer airmail. All right, I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. The next are the cut and the reverse cut. So the cut shot, it depends on which hand you are. So I'm going to talk in terms of right-handed players, right? When you perform a cut shot, your bag will cut or curve from right to left after it hits the board, right? So this is where you get into the curve shots and getting around blocker bags. A reverse cut for a right-handed player is when the bag goes left to right after it hits the board. And there's a lot of ways to do this. You can, you know, backload your bag, you can tilt it, you can slow your spin down. There's a lot of different ways to execute this correctly, and I won't go over all of them in this video, but just know that's kind of what those shots are about. They're curving, you know, cutting around a blocker. And the last one is the roll bag. This one brings a lot of attention, a lot of controversy. It's sometimes called a bounce bag or a crawl shot, and there's a lot of ways to do it. But it's one of those ones where if someone rolls over you, you know, the beginner player might say it's lucky, but everyone knows if you've practiced this shot, it is really effective. When you have blockers in the way and you're able to roll over those blocks and get your bag to fall in the hole, it's a lot safer shot than an airmail, because even if you miss, you're going to stay on the board. And it's just an awesome looking shot, and it's really cool when you hit it. All right, the next two are the expert level shots. These are very low percentage shots, but when you hit them, these bring the wow factor. You know, this is where people go, how did he hit that? Now, how they got named, I have no idea, but they are the penguin and the bar of soap. The bar of soap is when your opponent has a blocker in front of the hole, and you throw a low, hard shot, and it pushes their bag on the back side of the hole or even off the board, and then yours falls in. The penguin is when you know, your opponent has blockers and you have a bag in front of those blockers. Again, you throw a low hard shot, it hits your bag, both your bags roll over their block and then fall in the hole. How it got named the penguin, I have no idea. So if you know, please feel free to comment below. Same thing with the bar of soap. I guess because it slips off the back, you know, like a slippery bar of soap. I don't know. Last thing I'll say is this is a new venture for me, and it's something I enjoy and love doing. I love spreading, you know, the knowledge of the game and teaching others how to play. So if you find this content useful and you like it, please subscribe, like it, share it with others. It would really help out a lot and keep me motivated to making more videos that will help you out. If you want to get involved with Cornhole, you can go to iplaycornhole.com. This is the website for the American Cornhole League, which is the premier league across the country and the one you see on ESPN. Go to that website, join, come play. It's going to be a lot of fun.